New tonight on KGW News, caught on camera with a man at a Portland Mac stop hit with a dart in the back.
And in downtown Portland, a man is stabbed in yet another act of violence near the Central Library.
A knife-like object for the stabbing, and then skateboards were used to assault as well.
Though turns out it's not all bad news in the Central City.
We'll show you the new downtown space where this longtime business plans to reopen.
I'm really proud that our employees and our customers have always just really been loyal.
And how Oregon's only member of the president's cabinet just invited the federal government to step in.
And I hope you will come to Portland, Oregon and crack down.
Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco. We begin tonight with another attack outside Portland's Central Library where police say a man was stabbed and beaten with a skateboard while trying to stop an argument. Alma McCarty's in the newsroom with the details. Alma?
David, at the beginning of July, there was a deadly shooting in the same area outside the library. That incident prompted library leaders to add more security, camera monitoring, and limit Wi-Fi access outside the building. But some say continued issues here are a bit unnerving.
Your Honor, the next matter on the docket is page 32, line 2, last of Nicholas.
Tuesday afternoon, the three suspects appeared before a Multnomah County judge for their alleged role in an assault outside the Central Library.
This was an attack by three individuals on a complete stranger in the middle of the day in broad daylight in public.
Portland police say the 44-year-old victim had just left the library and noticed disturbance between a group of people. According to court documents, he yelled over in an attempt to stop it.
And he tried to intervene, and that's when the suspects turned their attention to him. He was stabbed several times, and two others with skateboards assaulted him with the skateboards.
Those suspects, PPB says, then ran off, taking TriMet from Southwest Yamhill and 10th over to Holiday Park, where officers found them.
We're asking anyone who has not spoken with police about this case, who might have witnessed something, to reach out to us.
As investigators continue their work and the victim recovers from non-life-threatening injuries, those in the area have lingering questions.
It's unsettling, especially since I'm outdoors a lot.
James Ross saw the crime tape Monday evening.
I walked up and the police were there and they were just announcing that there was no more danger, but they wouldn't quite spill what happened.
Other patrons like Lejeune Thorson, president of the Downtown Neighborhood Association, says despite incidents such as this, the Central Library is still the place she'd prefer her association to meet.
We've seen more security, whether it was because we requested it or not, I'm not quite sure, but I feel safe right now.
Library officials confirming the additional patrols, along with round-the-clock camera monitoring, more cleaning outside, and decreased exterior Wi-Fi.
It takes regular people out and about, eyeballs on the street. That's how we're all safer.
While the Multnomah County Library has also organized a work group to consider more extensive security measures, the president of the Portland Metro Chamber blamed the county for not doing enough, calling the Central Library a, quote, hotspot for violence and drug use that makes employees and visitors feel unsafe. David?
Yeah, some pretty pointed comments there. Thanks, Alma. Appreciate your reporting. New tonight, a man has been sentenced to nearly 6 years in prison for shooting someone with a dart at a Mac stop. This video just released today shows the events of July 17th last year. The victim is there wearing the white tank top, was on the Blue Line platform at 162nd in East Portland. Now, a different view shows the attacker, 40-year-old Joseph Nays, fire the dart from a slingshot. The victim suffered a collapsed lung but survived. Police say he'd broken up a fight between Nays and his partner earlier in the week, though otherwise the two did not know each other. Well, also new tonight, Labor Secretary and former Oregon Congresswoman Lori Chavez DeRemer appears to be encouraging the Trump administration to crack down, her words, in some form on the Rose City. She made those comments during a cabinet meeting today at the White House that included, as you might expect, a lot of praise for the president.
In Oregon, where we are expecting a crackdown.
Expecting a crackdown in Oregon. The first inkling that Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer had more to say beyond updating the president on her department. And she didn't stop there.
Thank you for what you are doing with your agents on ICE, and thank you for the prosecution that I hope you will come to Portland, Oregon and crack down.
Those comments Tuesday from Oregon's former GOP congresswoman in a cabinet meeting at the White House. And while Chavez DeRemer didn't elaborate on exactly what kind of crackdown, presumably on migrants, she was encouraging, the White House has already threatened to expand the use of the National Guard, which is now patrolling the streets of the nation's capital, to places like Chicago. And U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, that's her in white, right next to the Labor Secretary, has already warned Oregon and Portland they could lose federal funding over their sanctuary policies.
I'm working with everyone around this table almost daily on legal issues that we're winning on.
Both the state and the city have previously argued refusing to help with federal immigration crackdowns doesn't violate federal law.
Our officers will not be used as agents of ICE. And when we see federal abuse, we will bring it to light, we will take action, and take the fight to federal courts where we will win.
Our country's in incredible shape.
The president today praising Chavez DeRemer and his cabinet for their excellent work, he says, on the economy, despite ongoing concerns over the impact of tariffs, while his labor secretary extended an invitation.
Mr. President, I invite you to see your big, beautiful face on a banner in front of the Department of Labor, because you are really the transformational president of the American worker.
Well, we have reached out to Secretary Chavez DeRemer's office about what type of crackdown she would like to see in Portland. We'll be sure to let you know if she responds. Let's give you a live look over Portland tonight on another warm evening, though the heat is finally easing off. Chief Meteorologist Matt Spinos here with a first look at your weather impact forecast. Hey there, Matt.
Hey, David. Yeah, you know, it's a warm night, and we're going to have some warm days, but not the heat that we had back on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when we were 95 to 102. It is a hazy one, 77 degrees right now, which is actually a couple degrees cooler than it was at this time last night, but it was hotter during the day. We made it up to 93 today. Yesterday, of course, was only 88. First time we'd stayed below 90 for 4 days, basically. Look at the 102 in the Dalles, 100 down in Medford. But cooler in Corvallis, 88. They actually had some rain showers there during the morning hours. Now, a few speckles of rain trying to make their way westward off the Cascades, not having a whole lot of success there. And still some thunderstorms firing up in eastern Oregon, but a lot of the activity has wound down. That said, we still have fire weather concerns to the south, and new fire weather warnings we'll show you later. But another warm night tonight. Hazy sunshine again tomorrow. And the good news is for the weekend, it's going to get a lot nicer and a lot cooler. David?
A lot of people going to love that Labor Day forecast. Thanks, Matt.
Your working family's under attack. What do? Stand up, fight back.
Developing tonight, over 1,000 staff in the Evergreen School District are now officially on strike. The workers include classified employees, that's like bus drivers, paraeducators, custodians, and many more. Members say they're fighting for a contract with better pay and more standard schedules, among other issues.
Our contract's prehistoric. Our wages are definitely way old. We're out here because a lot of things, but mainly the safety of the kids. There's not enough of us. The district doesn't want to pay well enough to retain people that have been.
The district says it's offering paraeducators a 4.5% wage increase and bus drivers a 3.5% increase. The first day of school has been delayed until next Tuesday as negotiations continue. Well, meanwhile, thousands of students across our area did return to class today, including in Oregon's largest district, that is Portland Public Schools. We were out at Tubman Middle School, where Superintendent Kimberly Armstrong was on hand to greet kids. Armstrong revealing that PPS now plans to buy a building and open a Center for Black Student Excellence by next fall. That's more than 5 years after voters approved the funding. We'll continue to follow up on that, though. The bigger question on hand right now, how PPS will handle projected declining enrollment, impacting state funding, staffing, and school resources.
The forecasting is important. It's the research and the data that allows us to be able to allocate staffing to schools. And sometimes it's off, and we need to send more staffing to schools. Sometimes it's off where we need to move staffing from one school to another school in hopes of balancing.
Armstrong says PBS will not have the updated enrollment numbers for another few weeks. By the way, this is also the first year that all of Portland Public Schools are adopting a cell phone policy requiring students to keep their phones off and away all day, including during lunch and passing periods. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, a math teacher at a Salem middle school has resigned after he was charged with several counts of criminal mistreatment involving alleged child abuse. Reese Sorensen, who taught at Parish Middle School, is accused of physically harming 2 of his own children and withholding food from them. The Salem Reporter, which broke the story, reports the kids are infants, just 6 weeks old. The owner of the now shuttered West Coast Game Park Safari in Bandon has now been indicted on more than 300 counts of animal neglect. Brian Tenney came under investigation earlier this year when state police served search warrants at his property. Police said they found meth, cocaine, and dozens of firearms and seized more than 300 animals. The Coos County Sheriff's Office says Tenney has now posted bail. The city of Portland is launching a national search for its first long-term city administrator. Current administrator Mike Jordan has overseen the transition to a new form of government, but now plans to retire. The mayor will choose the new administrator, who must be confirmed by council. Candidates should apply by September 25th. And speaking of the city, a new homeless shelter in Northwest Portland that has drawn significant neighborhood pushback is set to open a week from tonight. The shelter at Northwest 14th and Northrop will be open with 40 beds to start, with 100 after a month, potentially expanding, the city says, up to 200 beds. It will welcome all adults and will also be low barrier, meaning people who stay here do not have to be sober. The plan is part of Mayor Keith Wilson's goal to end unsheltered homelessness, he says, by the end of this year.